Hello everyone, it's good to be back with you today, and it's a wonderful day because we are down to the last 2 days of the presidency of Barack Obama. It's a time to celebrate. It's also a time of reflection. So today I'm going to briefly reflect on President Barack Obama's 8 years as president. We're going to take a look today at Barack Obama's report card. That's right. We're going to take a look at Obama's report card to see how he done. Let's start with some jobs. How did Barack Obama do on jobs? Well, it appears right now that there's 95 million people out of the workforce. Many other people are working 2 or 3 jobs to make up for the one job they used to have because of the lower wages, loss of benefits, and other perks that don't exist anymore, thanks to Barack Obama. You see, when he created Obamacare, it changed the rules on how employers could provide health insurance. So if you have more than 50 employees, you have to jump into the Obama healthcare plan, which would, of course, bankrupt you. Therefore, people had to cut back and not hire. So you had far fewer full-time jobs, a lot more people hiring part-timers. Therefore, a person's good full-time job had now been replaced by 2 to 3 part-time jobs. But even with all those part-time shitty jobs, he still has 95,000 people out of the workforce. And of course, we can't forget the $787 billion jobs program. That's right. He was going to rebuild the bridges, repave the roads, do all sorts of infrastructure rebuilding to boost the economy and create some jobs. Unfortunately, that $787 billion ended up going back to the Democratic National Committee's campaign coffers and also to many Democratic politicians to pay off their campaign debts and to pad their campaigns for the next election. So, in the area of jobs, I think we have to give Barack a solid, I won't tell you now, I'll tell you in a minute. Let's move on. How about the economy? Well, in general, the economy sucks. We have about 40% of the people on social services, welfare, food stamps, Medicaid, you name it. You name the social program, it has massively expanded under Barack Obama. We also have doubled our national debt and have run record deficits for all the 8 years. In fact, Barack Obama may have set a new record as a president for going 8 consecutive years and never exceeding more than 1.3% of economic growth. I believe that Barack Obama is not going to do very well in this category. How about foreign policy? Well, let's take a look at that. How about Libya? Well, Libya used to be one of the wealthiest countries in North Africa. People had a pretty good life in Libya. Gaddafi was a bit of a nut, but he kept the terrorists out. He compiled a lot of gold. He provided a very good social services for the people of Libya, and they enjoyed a pretty good life until Barack Obama came along and began meddling in their business. Today, Libya is a terrorist wasteland. It's a training ground for terrorists. Its leader is leaderless. Its country is leaderless. Nobody really came along to replace anybody. It's just a gang of warlords running around the country, killing, raping, pillaging, and plundering the country. But I imagine it was some benefit to Barack Obama and to probably some of the big energy companies. So maybe they think he did pretty good. But Libya is pretty much a fucking disaster zone. Now how about Iraq? Now, 8 years additionally in Iraq after the 6 that W had, that's 14 total years. Where do we stand today in Iraq? Well, things are pretty fucked up in Iraq too, just like they always have been. Only today they're probably worse. They have rolling blackouts. They have their sewer systems are a mess. They have people who can't even walk down the street without fear of being blown up. Kids can't go to school. Families have been destroyed. It's a fucking disaster area in Iraq. And the Iraqi government is trying to actually do something there to help out things to improve the situation by killing a lot of those terrorists who are working for Barack Obama and his friends. But unfortunately, every time you turn around, the the Brits and the Americans keep airdropping weapons, ammunition, and other materials to the terrorists so they can keep on fighting. So therefore, the situation in Iraq has continued to be a fucking mess. How about Ukraine? Well, Ukraine has always been a fairly corrupt and poor country, but Barack Obama's foreign policy took it to a new level. Especially with good old fuck you Victoria Nuland running the show in Ukraine. And they put the chocolate man in charge, and the corruption and the misery continues. Fortunately, the Russians have continued to send in some aid into the eastern part of Ukraine, and so those people are at least ways not starving to death. But the coup didn't work out very well. The place is a mess, and it doesn't look like it's going to improve anytime soon. However, once Barack Obama's gone, there may be some light at the end of the tunnel for the people of Ukraine. Let's see. How about the superpowers? China. Well, the last time that Barack Obama went to China for one of his meetings with all the world leaders, we saw that the Chinese rolled out the red carpet for all the other leaders coming into China, into Beijing, except for Barack Obama. They didn't roll out the red carpet for him. In fact, they didn't even push the old steps up to the airplane. They forced him to use his own steps and exit off the rear of the airplane. Very embarrassing. I don't think they have much respect for Barack Obama. And how about Russia? Well, it appears that Putin hasn't taken Barack Obama's phone calls in about 2 or 3 years. I don't think he likes him very much, and I know he doesn't trust him. Might be because Barack Obama's butthurt, because in the area of foreign policy, as it regards Russia, Putin has kicked his ass time and time again. It's a little embarrassing for Obama. How about with the EU? Well, I'm not sure whether to give Barack Obama points or not give him points for his score in foreign policy. In Europe, of course, his policies have led to a massive migration crisis, lots of crime, lots of terrorism. The EU is literally falling apart, which is actually good. I don't really know whether to give Barack Obama credit for Brexit, for Frexit, Grexit, Blexit, Prexit, Mexit, you name it. They're all leaving. They're all going. It's going to be gone, baby, gone. And we'll have to decide at some point whether that's a credit to Barack Obama or not. After all, it wasn't his intention to destroy the EU, but he sure did a damn good job of doing it. Let's see. You remember the Philippines? They've been a wonderful ally of ours for many, many, many years. In fact, the people of the Philippines loved General MacArthur. They loved us after World War II and have always been a very close ally to us. Now it appears that they hate us in the Philippines. Thank you very much, Barack Obama. Another foreign policy disaster. Let's see. How about in South America? Well, they've never liked us very much since the 50s when we overthrew most of the governments in South America and assassinated their leaders and plundered their resources for the benefit of American corporations. But Barack Obama, when you think it actually couldn't get any worse, him being a socialist and all, you thought things might improve. But they haven't. Things are just as bad, if not worse, in South America, and they still pretty much hate us. And you know what? I kind of don't blame them. Well, let's see. Social policy. Well, that's a disaster. We thought that might be one area that Barack Obama might actually excel at in social policy, because he is a big Marxist liberal. But it appears, if you look across the country, you can see that the social situation across the country is a disaster. There's absolutely nothing good that I can find that Barack Obama was able to do. And it appears that the only thing he has done is to spend billions and billions and billions of dollars creating more and more unease, unrest, and frustration amongst people in this area of domestic policy. Definitely not going to get a good score here. Let's take a look at another area where we thought he might do pretty well based on his campaign rhetoric, and that would be civil liberties. Well, our civil liberties were pretty much eroding during the Bush administration, but Barack Obama took it to a new level. We have lost more civil liberties under Barack Obama than any president in history, including Lincoln during the Civil War. The intelligence agencies now are free to spy on anyone, anywhere, anytime. They can collect all our data, listen to all our phone calls, and it's all good to go thanks to Barack Obama. He has also made it legal again for the intelligence agencies to propagandize the American people. We should also talk about the crackdown that he's had on journalism. More journalists have been thrown in jail or fined under Barack Obama than any president in history. So we've not done very well in civil liberties under Barack Obama. I don't think he's going to get a very good score. How about race relations? You would think that the first black Muslim president, that he actually would have been able to bring the country together. However, it doesn't take very long to figure out that race relations in the United States are the worst they've been since the 1960s, and maybe even worse than that. Because at least at that point, we were having the conversation. Today, it's just a lot of violence, a lot of threats. We have the Black Lives Matter group, the Soros-funded groups, all good friends of Barack Obama, who are out there calling for the murder of police officers. They're out there engaging in starting violence. They are damaging private property. And Barack Obama doesn't seem to have any message for them. He has certainly nothing to say to white America, especially if you live in the South or the Midwest, where he's not very popular. I don't really think Barack Obama gives a flying shit about race relations, because quite honestly, Barack Obama has been a child of privilege. Soon, he will be retiring to Hawaii, a multi-millionaire, living in his tropical paradise, and he doesn't give a flat shit about any of you, whether you're white, black, brown, green, purple, or polka dot, or the conditions that you live in. He cares nothing about the inner cities, and if you look at his own supposed home state of Illinois and city of Chicago, you'll find that there has been more blacks murdered in Chicago in the past 5 years than all the members of our military killed in Iraq. Basically, Barack Obama has turned America into a fucking war zone, and his peeps ain't doing real well in that regard. So, it's time now to tally up that report card. And it looks to me like in jobs, we give Barack Obama an F. The economy, an F. Foreign policy, an F. Social policy, a solid F. Civil liberties, an F. Race relations, an F. For a combined score of F. Obama's report card. A big fat F. Thank God he's gone. See ya.